News every 15 minutes, weather every 10, and sports twice an hour.
Newstalk KGVO, AM 1290 and now 101.5 FM.
You're listening to Montana Morning with Peter Christian.
Yeah, the smoke is back. Good morning, everyone. It's Montana Morning. It is Monday, August 24th, 2015. Right now, we do have dense smoke in the Missoula area. Air is unhealthy for sensitive groups at this time, and unhealthy especially in long exposures in the Bitterroot Valley. Right now, we do have smoke and 50 degrees in Missoula. Our newscast this morning, sponsored by the Mustard Seat Restaurant located in Southgate Mall. Well, of course, our top story is what we're breathing and looking at with the fire season continuing around western Montana. The smoke descended on the Missoula area around 6 o'clock yesterday evening. Conditions currently unhealthy for sensitive groups in Missoula and Frenchtown. There are a lot of fires burning in Idaho and not to mention Montana, sending smoke our way. That smoke is currently stuck under a high-pressure ridge and may be further trapped near the ground due to cold temperatures at ground level this morning. There's still an east breeze in the forecast, and a chance it could push some of the smoke out of the breathing space, but it's our last shot at clearing out the air for some time. The next few days, we'll see a high-pressure ridge and westerly breezes in the forecast, therefore more smoke in the Missoula area. Still, a smoke just south of us in the Bitterroot. The air quality in the Bitterroot is currently unhealthy for long-term exposure. Firefighters and residents are bracing for a return to more intense fire activity in western Montana, where wildfires have scored thousands of acres and threatened some small communities. A fire weather watch posted yesterday warned that gusty winds and low humidity were expected this afternoon in Glacier Park and the Kootenai and Flathead National Forest areas. On Glacier's southern boundary, a wildfire is about a mile south of the town of Essex, where about 100 area residents have been advised to be ready to evacuate. North of Seeley Lake and the Swan Ridge, the Bear Creek complex, including the Bear Creek and Trail Creek fires, is now the largest in the state at just over 20,000 acres. They're being managed by the Northwest Montana Type 3 Incident Management Team. The fire grew dramatically over the weekend due to strong winds. A large area closure is in place in the northern portion of the Bob Marshall Wilderness with that fire. The Morel complex, the much-needed rain, the cooler temperatures and lighter winds burning near Seeley Lake provided opportunity for fire operations to directly attack the fire and continue reinforcement work over the weekend. Sunday was the start of a significant warming and drying trend. The fire is now estimated to be a little over 520 acres. Fire containment at about 10%. No evacuations have taken place. No structures have yet been threatened. On Friday, more evacuations were set for the Bull River along the Highway 56 due to what's called the Napoleon Fire. Here's Public Information Officer John Head.
Our red zones expanded into some of the yellow zones from yesterday, so we did expand the evacuation orders a little further south. The pre-evacuations, it goes all the way to the junction with 200 now and extends towards Idaho on Highway 200 to about mile marker 6. All those folks have been put on alert.
Head says around 20 to 30 individuals have already been evacuated as of Friday, and expected more would go into place due to the weather predictions for the weekend.
We've been expecting higher winds. We are getting some gusts. I think we had a 20-mile-an-hour kind of wind picked up on earlier today. The humidities are just unusually dry. You know, anytime you see relative humidity predictions in the teens around here, that's a real eye-opener for us. We heard even down as low as 11, perhaps, in some of these places around here. We thought it might hit us last night, but it appears to be kind of coming in today. Even right here down in the valley bottom, the trees are moving around. We're getting some wind.
Again, that was as of Friday. There were no injuries reported. Last week was a busy one for the Missoula County Attorney's Office. Kirsten Papp said her office filed 17 criminal complaints.
We had 4 domestic disturbances, 2 that resulted in felony charges, 1 aggravated burglary involving a former partner, and 1 aggravated assault, which was a very serious alleged strangulation case, and then 2 misdemeanor partner assault cases.
Papp says she expects violent crime rate will go up in Missoula this year and says some types of violent crime have already surpassed last year's numbers.
We have already seen a spike in the family-related violent crimes. We've seen a huge spike in meth-related crimes, and I don't think that there's a coincidence there. We've already got twice as many child abuse and neglect cases on our civil side than we had last year at this time, and I can tell you for sure that a large portion of those are related to the influx of meth.
Pabst says Missoula isn't just encountering meth coming in from out of state. Much of it's being produced right here. An August 10th fatal crash on I-90 in western Montana has raised questions about how safe the four-lane mountain highway is when the wind blows. U of M student Chris Ramsey died after the SUV he was driving rammed into two large trees blown down 4 miles east of Lookout Pass and the Idaho line. Ramsey is believed to be the first tree-caused fatality in the 30-plus years since I-90 was completed on Montana's westernmost ridge. On Friday, the County Public Schools Board of Trustees adopted a new budget for the upcoming school year. Here's Hatton Littman.
The trustees unanimously approved both the elementary district budget and the secondary district budget. So remember, in Missoula County Public Schools, we are a unified K-12 district, but we do still have separate budgets for our elementary and our middle schools. That makes up our K-8 district, our elementary district, and then we have a separate budget for our high school district.
Littman says the final budget for the elementary district's over $48 million. The high school district's final budget about $39 million. In other news, a new trustee was appointed last week.
We have one trustee seat that was vacated by Lisa Tripke, and that's the trustee position that represents Bonner and Target Range school districts. And that position was appointed last night. There were two candidates that applied, Sean Skinner and Corbin Bragstad, and the trustees appointed Corbin Bragstad for the remainder of that term.
Littman says Corbin will still have to run at the end of the term if he wishes to serve another. More budget information can be found on the story on our website at newstalkkgvo.com. Well, you just heard on Fox News, stock markets plunging on high alert this morning after the Dow plummeted over 1,000 points last week, the worst since 2011. Bob Seidenschwartz with SG Long & Company says people are wondering what China has to do with this decline.
When China gets indigestion, so does the rest of the world. So when you couple that with European slowdown, U.S. economy is growing but slowly, and then you get news coming out of China about devaluation on the yuan, and always the issue, can you trust the information economically that you're getting?
Seidenschwartz says there's reason to be cautious that there may be even more of a slowdown taking place in China, and was the initial trigger.
You saw a lot of selling, momentum, retail. To call it a panic, no. If this continues for several days, I would tell the public this is creating some great opportunities for those that seek out, good companies with good balance sheets.
Seidenschwartz says the U.S. was due for, quote, a healthy, normal correction that hasn't taken place for quite some time, end quote. Now we'll see. Dow futures already down more than 600 points. News Talk Time 612.
News Talk, KGVO.
Missoula's official weather station.
Areas of smoke today with our high temperatures in the low 90s. Winds will be out of the west-northwest at 5 to 10 miles per hour. Tonight, lows in the upper 40s. Back into the 90s for Tuesday. I'm meteorologist Brooke Foster for KECI 13.